look gross. I'll be back. They look, well, a little bit better. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, Tron. Tron is cool. I actually really like Tron. Fuck it, I love Tron.
Well, so let's talk about it. So the way I'll be talking about is, uh, like not really in the particular order. It's the way I have experienced the franchise and how I feel about this franchise. My undying love for this franchise. So yeah, let's get things started. So first off, it's my favorite movie of all time. It's Tron Legacy. And ah man, this movie this movie changed my life. This franchise and two other franchises have changed my life. Like it changed my way. Not my way. The way I thought movies were made. But this was when I was like a very little kid, like 3 to 4 years old. So yeah. Uh Man, I remember watching this in theaters like a month after the movie came out. I think either I think it was in January 2011 where I did watch Tron Legacy. You know, 'Cause I didn't go watch. I think that was actually probably the first movie I ever saw in my life in a theater. So it what a sorry, what a good movie to introduce me to this theater experience. So yeah. And man, this movie is it's so good. For me, it'll be a classic. It will be a classic. And yeah, I still remember the when Jeff Bridges like the grid and the lines of code. Well not really lines of code, but the lights. They just come out and build Central City. And oh man, I love that. I remember the first time seeing the recognizer get Sam Flynn and the disc wars and the light cycle grid, and the music for me, this soundtrack, Daft Punk's truly amazing soundtrack for Tron Legacy is, for me, probably my favorite soundtrack of all time, and it's so good. Daft Punk are the goats. For me, they will be undefeated with sound. Well, we'll talk about that in a little bit. But for me, they are pretty much the best artists of all time. Like they're so fucking good. And yeah, the characters Sam, Cora, Kevin, Clue, Tron, you know, Zeus, Jam, like literally. And people like say, oh, but the story, there's not a lot of story there. Well, that's because it's about the character. Tron has always been about the characters. Tron has always been about the characters. The story is simple, but it has to be simple. And in this technological marvel that is the grid, I mean, come on. I personally feel like Tron has always been more about the characters than the story, and I think that's actually I think that's actually really really good. Personally, and yeah, they're all great characters. I feel like Sam Flynn and Cora have become like household, well, not really household names, but like very popular characters, in our culture. That's how I personally feel about it, you know. And also Kevin Flynn, and also Sam Flynn. I like that he's such a rebellion, like he's such a rebel, but underneath, he's like he misses his dad, and Cora, you know, like her being an ISO and I one of the coolest scenes, not one of my favorite, but it's a great scene where Cora, is just very interested, in like at very interested in Sam because literally the only other human, the only other user she's ever met is is has been Kevin, and she's like very interested because she wants to explore outside the grid. She wants to experience the real world. Like in the movie, she said, when they're riding the solar sailor and they see the blue light, the portal beam. She's like, I always imagine how that's how high I always imagined the sun to be, and then her at the end of the movie finally experiencing the sunlight, finally feeling the sun in her skin, and it's very full circle for the character and Kevin Flynn. Oh man, the amazing Kevin Flynn. Jeff Bridges is. I feel like with almost every role Jeff Bridges takes, like it's basically just Jeff Bridges. Whether like yeah, just I feel like Kevin Flynn is the most jet. Like that is Jeff Bridges. Kevin Flynn is Jeff Bridges. That's how he. I feel like that's how he normally acts around people. So yeah, and Clue, that amazing scene where he's reflecting, and I love that scene so much, and the music in that scene is so great, and Tron, man, what a great, well, he barely speaks in the movie, but oh man, I love Tron and Tron Legacy. He pretty really really cool character, you know. And yeah, Zeus, again, I like. For me, every time I see the actor for Zeus in a movie, I'm just like, yeah, I know this guy's just a freak. I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in the best way possible. Like, literally, he's taken like really weird roles. He's taken the role of an android. He's taken the role of a program, a fucking vampire, and yeah, and Gem, also a pretty cool character. But yeah, man. Like I love this movie. I have an undying love for this movie. I will continue to love this movie for the rest of my life. And yeah, for me, this is the best movie ever made. For me, personally, it's the best movie ever made, and I and I just love it, man. And now we're gonna talk about well, it's not really what you'd expect. It's Tron the Next Day, and it's pretty cool. I'm not gonna talk a lot about this one, but it's a pretty cool, kind of like mini movie that's like what happens between the events of the original Tron and Tron Legacy, while also giving us a bridge to the next, to what's next for Tron, what's next in the story of Tron. So yeah, it's really really cool. My favorite scene is when where Zack Attack slash slash Ram, you know, shows the not show yeah he shows the recording, you know, of Kevin Flynn's last like Kevin Flynn's last recording, you know, and then it cuts out, and then he says, and then something unexpected happens, and we hear Son of Flynn, and we see Sam Flynn boarding in a helicopter, and then later we see him, jump out of that helicopter, and it's so cool. I love Tron the Next Day. It's not as good as the other things I will talk about in this video, but it's still really really good. I really really like it. So if you're wondering what happens between the events of Tron and Tron Legacy, watch that. It's great. And now we're gonna talk about the original Tron, and it's really good. Yeah, honestly, it's really good. I'm gonna give you a little bit of a story. So back in 2020, damn, I can't believe 2020 was 6 years ago. Anyway, back in 2020, during the tenth anniversary of Tron Legacy, I decided, you know what, why not? Let me just watch Tron and Tron Uprising in one day, and it changed my view on how I saw Tron to that point. And thankfully because I did that, it showed me you know like Tron can be about different stories. It can't just be about one story. And yeah, with the original Tron, I really really like it. Well, back then when I saw it back in 2020, I hated it. I absolutely hated it, and I just didn't like it. Mostly because literally I could not bear it. I could not bear to watch it. I did not like it, dude. I just didn't like it. But when Ares was coming out, I decided, you know what, let me just watch, let me watch the series in chronological order. And then, when I got to see, the original Tron again, back in October, I was like, damn, this movie's actually pretty good. I like the original Tron, and because of that, I'm kind of like an original Tron fan. I mean, I Legacy obviously more, but the original Tron is so charming, and for me, even after I watched it for the first time back in 2020, I still had respect for him because I said in my head I was like, even though I didn't like it, without it, the rest of the franchise would have never happened. And I've a lot of respect and now a lot of love for the original Tron. It's great, man. It's great.